Hello, and welcome to Xavier University Healthcare Finance and Economics Global Health presentation brought to you by Leah Jordan. Australia is the smallest continent, yet one of the largest countries on Earth, lying between the Pacific and Indian Oceans in the southern hemisphere. Australia's capital is Canberra, located in the southeast between the larger and more important economic and cultural centers of Sydney and Melbourne. Australia's current population exceeds 25.5 million people, with one new person added to the population every 1.5 minutes. Australia is also the 55th largest country in the world in terms of population. According to Australia's 2011 population census, residents declared that 25.4% of their ancestry to be Australian. Other ancestries represented in Australian culture include English, Scottish, and Italian predominantly. Australia is a religiously diverse nation, with Christianity remaining the most common religion. Islam and Buddhism were the next common religions reported, yet nearly a third of Australians reported in the census that they had no religious affiliation. Australia is a federation of 6 states which, together with 2 self-governing territories, have their own constitutions, parliaments, governments, and laws. Parliamentary government means that the executive government comes from within the parliament. Responsible government means that the executive government is responsible to the parliament. This is the central feature of a Westminster-style government following the UK model, in contrast to other systems of government where the executive is quite separate and not directly answerable to the legislature, for example in the United States of America. The economy of Australia is a highly developed market. Its gross domestic product was estimated at $1.69 trillion as of 2017. In 2018, Australia became the country with the largest median wealth per adult. Mining has contributed to Australia's high level of economic growth from the gold rush of the 1840s to the present day. Australia has a very strong economy that has seen many highs and lows in the past few decades. Australia's mixed market economy is a prosperous Western market economy where the GDP is high and the rate of poverty is low. The free market is among the first 5 developed countries in the world, with the 4 main components being trade, manufacturing, services, and financing. The growth of Australia's economy owes thanks to its stable government, healthy politics, and huge natural resources. While Australia's economic growth slowed in 2018 and 19 due to a housing downturn and a severe drought, growth is expected to pick up on the back of monetary and fiscal stimuli, which is likely to boost household income as well as consumer spending. 3 levels of government are collectively responsible for providing universal health care: federal, state and territory, and local. The federal government mainly provides funding and indirect support to the states and health professions, subsidizing primary care providers through the Medicare Benefit Scheme and the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme, and providing funds for state services. States have the majority of responsibility for public hospitals, ambulance services, public dental care, community health services, and mental health care. They contribute their own funding in addition to that provided by federal government. Local governments play a role in the delivery of community health and preventative health programs, such as immunization and the regulation of food standards. The federal government funds Medicare, a universal public health insurance program providing free or subsidized access to care for Australian citizens. Medicare is funded in part by a government levy collected through the tax system, which raised an estimated 10.3 billion Australian dollars between 2013 and 2014. Private health insurance is readily available and offers more choices of providers, faster access for non-emergency services, and rebates for selected services. Government policies encourage enrollment in private health insurance through a tax rebate and, above a certain income, a penalty payment for not having private health insurance. In 2016, nearly half of the Australian population had private hospital coverage, and nearly 56% had general treatment coverage. In general, Australians do very well with health outcomes in comparison to countries of equal size and development. In 2016, the average life expectancy for baby boys was 80.4 years, and for baby girls, it was 84.6 years. Leading causes of death differ by age and include suicide and accidents for those under 44, coronary artery disease and lung cancer for ages 45 to 74, and coronary artery disease, dementia, and Alzheimer's for ages 75 and above. 50% of Australians are estimated to have at least one of 8 common chronic conditions, with cancer being the leading cause of disease burden. On an average day in Australia's healthcare system, $467 million are spent on health, 406,000 visits are made to a general practitioner, and 777,000 prescriptions are filled under the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme. 21,400 visits are made to the emergency department, and 29,000 hospitalizations take place. In general, the funding for healthcare between the U.S. and Australia is similar, with involvement of both a public Medicare option as well as private insurance. In terms of healthcare quality and access, the U.S. ranks at 88.7, well below that of Australia at 95.8. Burden of disease is also much higher among Americans versus Australians. The U.S. also has the highest rates of medical, medication, and lab errors than comparable countries at 19% versus that of Australia at 11%. According to a recent census report, by the year 2050, there will be an estimated 36 million people living in Australia, an increase of approximately 12 million people over the next 32 years. With more headcount and an aging population, the report predicts hospitals will become an increasingly priority for governments and healthcare providers if they wish to continue supporting a healthy population. The future of Australia's healthcare is being driven by 2 main factors: the search for economic sustainability and an increase in the use of health information technology. Electronic health records and information technology are priority investment areas for healthcare, while innovations like artificial intelligence and robotics will be making a splash in the coming years. Australians also face the challenge of a rise in the aging population and associated problems such as a rise in chronic diseases and a growing need for serviceability. Hi guys, thank you for watching my global health presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something about Australia's healthcare system. See ya!